Hunter.
I'm Rebecca.
I'm Caitlin. I'm Nessa.
This is the Family Showdown!
Happy Tuesday, everyone. Welcome to Live Shenanigans. It's on. So this time we're doing a top 10 shenanigans, right?
Correct.
Of the decade. 10 years of shenanigans. Okay, 10 years of games. Probably shenanigans involved with the games, though, right? Yes.
All right, folks. So I put a poll up.
Ooh, you did.
On our guild. Oh, hi, I'm Hunter. This is Rebecca. We're the Family Showdown.
Hey.
I put a poll up on our guild on Board Game Geek. So if you're haven't joined that, down in the description, you can do the guild thing. I put up a list of potential top 10s. People voted, and this is the one that was selected barely. Someone snuck on and almost voted up the other one at the last minute.
That would have been funny. We're on never mind.
That's why I cut it off on Friday.
Oh, sneaky.
So I know.
Sneaky. Someone going in and sniping the poll.
So, top 10 games of the decade. 2010
Hello, Maximus.
to 2019. So what we're going to do...
Poll, Billy?
We thought there's two ways to do this list. One would be just take the entire decade, pick our 10 favorite games, and call it good. But...
Meh.
That'd be mostly our top 10 lists in order.
Yeah.
I mean, a top 10 of our top 100. But anyway, instead, what we're going to do is we're going to go year by year. So we're going to start with 2010 and work our way up to 2019. We're each going to pick a game. We pre-consulted so that you're going to get 2 games each year. There's several years we would have picked the same game.
Yeah, there were a few years that it was very obvious which one we would pick, but then there were some awesome years that it made it easy.
So you're going to get 20 great games. Additionally, as an added bonus, I wrote down the top 3 games from Board Game Geek for each of those years, and you can kind of compare and contrast to what we picked as our top games for those years.
We have discovered we are not sheep, for the most part.
What do you mean?
Well, because we picked 2, maybe 3 years. There was a game we picked that was in the top 3. Most of the time we didn't pick
I think we picked the top game, the number 1 game.
It was only a couple times. Oh, once. See, there you go. There you go.
So.
Yeah. Zachy, I'm glad we could give you something to do other than chase your cats around the house. That's always a good thing.
All right. So we're going to get her started.
Yes.
Get her done. Get her started.
All right.
Get her started with 2010. As always.
Good year. Good year.
Not always. The last 2 or 3 years, I go first. And she goes second because she's more important. So she's in the honor position. I guess I don't know.
Okay, what's your excuse when we switch then?
Then I'm more important.
Oh, okay.
All right, 2010. So here we're going to take a quick poll in the chat. People in the chat get a little bonus.
Woo!
Do you want to hear the top 3 games of the year first? Or do you want to hear our games first?
Ooh.
So I'll let you decide that.
So
what we did, so basically while you decide that, I'll tell you how we made the list. Board Game Geek has an awesome search feature. So you just go in and you do an advanced search on Board Game Geek. You put in the year, and then I've rated every game I've played. Like every game I've played. And you click rated. There's a button where you click rated, and you hit search, and it pulls up all the games you rated for that year. And then you pick your favorite from that list.
Okay, we've had 3 in a row that said they want the top games last.
So ours first, top games last. Done.
And Nick, yes, you're definitely from Texas, and you are prepared because let me tell you, the pickings on the salsa and the beans and the rice were pretty slim last time I went to the grocery store.
All right, my number 1 game from 2010 is Merchants and Marauders. Merchants and Marauders. This actually would have been a crossover if we would have had our druthers.
Oh, druthers.
It would have been a crossover, but we get 2 different games because, as I said, we got 2 different games. So Merchant Marauders, this was our first board game sandbox experience. So if you don't know what a sandbox game is, that's a game where you pretty much have rules and you can just go out and do whatever you want within those rules. So in Merchants and Marauders, you're a pirate or a merchant. So you can go out merchanting, you can deliver goods and do chase rumors and do all sorts of kind of good guy stuff. Or you can be a pirate. You can go kill other players and take all their stuff, or take out merchant ships and rob them and do that sort of thing. And even mid-game, you can swap it around and become the opposite of where you're halfway through the game. So it's kind of open-ended what you want to do. So it comes from kind of the open world video games, kind of sort of the same thing. So
yeah, it was the first time we felt a game like that had a video game scenario. Like you said, where you can just go out and do whatever. And it's like, in a board game?
Yeah.
This is awesome.
It felt really cool. Felt really different. Now there's several big name sandbox games out there. So
which are we? Oh, Hunter's definitely a pirate. I am an innocent merchant.
I usually
I'm
the
so
pirate's
innocent.
life for me.
Yo ho!
All right, what's your 2010 game?
Yes, my 2010 game is Merkator. Yes, this is another one of those that I want to call like the sweet spot games that we like to play, where there's lots of point salad, different mechanisms going around and trading goods and getting goods and doing stuff, and it's got that hour and a half ish or less time frame. Plays awesome 2 players. Like, it has all of those things, and it's just really good. And it's funny because, granted, this is 2010, but we didn't get to play this until, well, just within the last few months.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like we were late to the party by, a decade or so. Whatever, it's still awesome. Really like this one. And it's older, but it aged really well. I was again, like I said, it's one of those that we really like the way this one is set up, and I love in particular just the thought process behind trying to figure out how to get the best engine up for trading and this and that, and so pretty.
This game kind of blindsided me, not in the way you would think. When we played it, I thought it was good. It didn't blow me away. You seemed to like struggle with it. And then now it's like one of your favorite games ever.
I know, because it took me a while to unlock. I was like, this is a cool puzzly. I don't know. It's just funny. I really enjoyed the puzzle of it. So.
Yeah, it's interesting.
There you go.
All right, so let me take down
51st State, Zaki. Yep, good pick. Yeah, you guys should be listing what you like in 2010. If you're looking that stuff up, post it. That's awesome.
Yeah, go out to Board Game Geek and go to advanced search up at the top. Put 2010 for the year. Click search, sort by rank, and you can follow along at home.
Totally. And tell us the top 3 of that year,
Well,
sir.
first, I want to tell you that what was a close second for me was Dominant Species.
Ah, that's good. Oh, my gosh.
That was a very close second.
That game's cutthroat.
Very close second.
Cutthroat.
All right, so the top games from 2010. Number 1, and this is as of 2 days ago.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't change much, I don't think, but maybe. Number 1, 7 Wonders. Number 2, Dominant Species. Number 3, Trois. Or Tres, depending on how you want to pronounce it.
Okay.
So
Wow.
7 Wonders. 7 Wonders. That's a big one.
I like that game. I like playing that game. I could see why it's still a big hit. Oh, I know Dice Tower's doing some stuff.
Yeah, the Dice Tower's doing their nightly chat. And
so Kabuki's probably over there helping
She'll
manage.
show up in about 20 minutes. All right. That's 2010. Let's move on to 2011.
Alrighty.
2011. Another one that would have been a crossover. My number 1 game for 2011 is Star Trek Fleet Captains. That would have been a crossover,
that was a crossover
as well.
Too.
We would have actually had a lot of crossovers. So Star Trek Fleet Captains is a game we've talked about tons and tons and tons.
It's true.
It's a kind of a... they always say this in a box, so that's Star Trek in a box. It's very episodic. It has all the different characters, tons and tons and tons of characters. Has ships. It's has when you go out and explore the game, you start on each end of a board that's unexplored, and you go out and you explore. And as you flip tiles over, you get things happen, and a lot of them are just encounters that you have like from an episode of Star Trek. Mm-hmm. It's not very, I guess I don't know if canon's the right word, but you can have like Picard as a captain, and then like Spock as your first officer.
Heck yeah,
it's
that's
just,
like
it's like you take all of Star Trek and just shuffle it all together, because you have
Yeah.
episodes all from different eras and stuff. It's a really, really solid Star Trek game. You can decide how long you want the game to go by how big you build the board. What?
Zachy has taken Tommy's place because
Oh.
he says, "Is this the game with Yoda in it? You're one step away, sir, from being banned. If I didn't know it was the middle of the night, you're probably loopy."
So, yeah, Fleet Captains. It's awesome. It's amazing. Try it out.
Ooh, Zachy Corworld's an excellent one. Yes, my pick for 2011 though, and
Your
Corworld's is
alternate
definitely
pick.
on there.
Your
yeah,
alternate pick.
my alternate. Yeah, I had
Not
several
that far of an alternate.
that were very close, and included in that is my one that squeaked by for the win, and that was Trajan. You guys know that's my favorite Feld game, Stefan Feld game, and Trajan is Roman Emperor, and you're going around. I know the theme's really just thick in this one. I'm kidding, but it's a Euro game, and you're going around and you're managing your empire and different things. You got little like mini games going on. It's the point salady goodness. You're trying to do all these different things to get victory points in different ways. Moving around a map with your army and collecting goods and victory points and stuff, and you're keeping the Senate happy and getting approval in the Senate, and going around and getting craftsmen and stuff, and you're feeding your people bread and circuses and some little fire-looking thing. And I think what they say it was religion. I think it was like religion and food and circuses. There were like 3 goods you gave them all the time, and all this different stuff. And so I love that game. It's pretty heavy. It's a heavy Feld, so it's medium heavy Euro game, but it's just so much fun. I love getting into that game, and it's different every time. And the mechanism in the middle with the little what would you call that little rondelle thingy?
This is
sort of?
Mancala and a rondelle.
Mancala, yeah, it's the coolest combo ever. Helps you determine what you're going to do because you're moving around your cubes and what color cubes and where you land, and all this stuff determines what you get to do during your turn. And I think that is just a lot of fun. There you go.
So my alternate game, because I have an alternate game for all of them, because I did my list first, so if I needed to swap out so that we both have a game, I picked 2 of every
that didn't
year.
seem to be a problem though.
My
Yeah,
alternate game was Oret Labora. Was my alternate.
That's
game.
another good one. Another good one.
All right, so for 2010, the top 3 games are Castles of Burgundy,
Good one.
Mage Knight, the board
Yeah,
game. I
not
think
my-
it's called Mage Knight, the board game, and Eclipse.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's the top
Nice.
3 from 2011.
Nice. Oh, Hector's back. Oh my gosh, you guys missed it. Hector and Gaming Wife were live streaming a play of Meeple Circus. That was greatness. That was greatness.
All right, we're just zipping along through this list.
We are, man. We're zipping through the list tonight. This is good.
All right, 2012.
2012.
This is an easy pick. My favorite game of all time.
It was a pretty easy pick.
War of the Ring, the best game ever made.
Maybe.
Will it be the best game that will ever be made? I don't know. Only time will tell. The best game ever, War of the Ring, 2nd edition. So, again, this is in the in the box thing. This is the Lord of the Rings in the box. So your one person plays the Fellowship of the Ring. They're going out and they're trying to destroy the ring and hold off the Shadow Army for enough time that can happen without the ring bearer getting corrupted. And the Shadow Army is just trying to destroy everything and corrupt the ring bearer. I think almost every game that we have played of this game has ended up being like the last roll of the die or the last draw out of the bag.
Yeah, we haven't really had game over, man. Like,
I mean, even the one that...
where you beat me militarily was all the way to the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I managed to hold you off. That was...
Well, the thing is, the corruption was getting so bad, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to win that way. So I just tried to sneak in a win through the military.
Yeah.
It's a great game. It's got so many things I like. It's got multi-use cards. It's got action selection via dice. It's got
amazing miniatures.
It's dudes on a map. People fighting each other.
The dice even look cool.
The expansions are awesome.
They're ridiculous.
I can't. This game's just if you love Lord of the Rings, you should play this game. You should find someone to teach you or take it and figure it out for yourself because it is an awesome experience. It is truly an experience. It's one of those games that
Nothing. Finish. I'll tell you.
So the So it's one of those games. Every time you play, there's something that happens that you remember that was really cool. Like you said, I had.
Oh man.
I had Gimli go into Moria and kill the Balrog.
Gimli was.
I was like, I'm gonna kill this Balrog.
Like,
I don't care. That's my one goal was to kill this stupid Balrog.
That was pretty funny.
Then what's his name? Elrond.
Elrond hiding in the bushes. You guys heard that
bushes,
story?
using his ring to save the day.
That was funny. It was good times. So Nick says that reminds me of the kid who growled down the aisle at the wedding. He thought he was the ring bearer.
No.
I was like, oh, Nick.
Womp womp.
We're going to have to ban him.
Womp womp.
And Zach.
Now, I think this would have been your first choice as well, right?
Yeah, probably. But honestly, I had 3 in a row that I was like, man, I really liked these games. And as far as like an impacting game that I just really enjoyed, and that is Yido. Oh my gosh. That was a huge surprise for me. I thought this was going to be another heavy dudes on a map kind of game. I didn't know what to expect. I had no idea what Yido was.
We didn't know what it was. You didn't know what it was when we first played.
Yeah, and so I was like, I'll play. I'm not really in the mood for dudes on a map. It wasn't. And I was like, this is so cool. And then we ended up with this like super tricked out game, which made it even cooler. And I just ended up really enjoying like all the little ninjas and all the stuff you have to do and sneaking around and accomplishing missions. And it just turned out to be a really fun game. I really enjoyed that. And it was pretty tough.
At first glance, if you just take like a quick look at the board and stuff on it, it looks like a heavy like combat game.
It was. It was a tough.
It's a Euro game.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, but it's a Euro game and it's wonderful. I super love that game, and
it's probably one of the heaviest worker placement games. Dominant Species and maybe this game.
Which is funny. That's another thing I didn't realize how meaty it would be.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a really cool surprise all the way through.
What is going on in the chat?
The chat, people are...
They're stir crazy.
They are. Nick's just bashing Longhorns. What's going on? Zachy says we're going to ban the chat.
All right.
Look, a chat-free
So Yido was my second choice, so we ended up getting both of mine this time around.
Another one that I had as a close one was Targi.
Yeah.
And you guys know that we've talked about that one a lot before, because that is such a great little 2-player game. And I just absolutely love it. So that was tough. That was a tough call.
All right. So 2012 is the one. Did we mention that?
You didn't mention the top 3 yet.
No, I'm saying we don't have any of the number ones. So we had one of the number ones, and this is the year. War of the Ring is the number 1 game from 2012. Number 2 is Terra Mystica, and 3 is Zolkin. So that's our first crossover with the top 3.
Yeah, I was just remembering Zolkin. That was the first game that we ever really played that had some weight to it that didn't click for us in a whole. Like, that was just funny.
I think we revisited it now. But we played it and we were like,
we're like, should we have...
Did we accomplish anything the whole game?
Is 10 points a good score at the end of the game? Given that the board goes to like how high? Probably 100.
Yeah.
Or more, and I'm like, I don't think we did well.
We don't like this game. Yeah. All right, 2013. Let's do it. Let's do it.
2013. Oh, this is my year, man.
Number 1 game for me for 2013 is actually her choice. So this is my second choice. And that is Glass Road. Ooh. I think this is my second favorite Uwe game. Uwe Rosenberg game, I think. Maybe Le Havre and then this. Maybe.
Probably. You love this one.
It is my number 22 game. So Glass Road it's just awesome. Another awesome Uwe game. One of my favorites. It basically takes Ora et Labora, which I think can be a little long, and kind of shortens it down and gives me kind of the same feel in a quicker time.
It does.
So that's why I like it. No, I like Ora et Labora better. Maybe it took too much away. But Ora et Labora is my 19 and this is 22. So they give me the same feel.
Wow.
You're doing a little bit different.
Yeah.
It has the same kind of resource management that Ora et Labora has, kind of. So in the Glass Road, the resources, the way it works is you have these common resources and then you have these advanced resources. And as soon as you get like one of each common resource, you automatically make an advanced resource. So there's this whole kind of working with your resources, because maybe you don't want that advanced resource, so you got to kind of manage your common resources in such a way you don't build. It's really kind of a weird resource management. I like how it works, but those two games really remind me of each other in a lot of ways. That you're putting things down, you're building a tableau the same way as an Bora.
It is pretty awesome.
It's a great game.
I like it. It's really fun. And I agree with Paul on the pick for this year because the best game of all time actually came out in 2013, and that was Viticulture. All time. Viticulture.
Oh.
Viticulture is the best game ever made. You can't prove me wrong. End of story. I'm just kidding. So, actually, I'm serious about that.
This was my pick for 2013 as well.
Yeah, because it's such a good game. It's a little medium weight Euro game about winemaking. Have a nice field, grow some grapes, harvest said grapes, make wine, sell that wine, make mega money and victory points. Refreshing.
Yeah, this is well, I wouldn't say it's one of our first worker placements because we actually put off buying this because of the theme. But this game is just smooth. Everything just flows. It's just got just nice little flow to it. It's not, you have the nice turn angst where it's like, oh, I hope she doesn't take this spot. But you have your grande worker where you can, go to a place that's already been taken. Yeah. It's just really smooth how you get the vines, and the vines make the grapes, and the grapes become wine, and the wine gets sold. Just this whole nice smooth flow of.
It's one of those where they did a fantastic job of making the theme so immersed into the actual mechanisms. What you're doing makes sense. I mean,
yeah.
Aside from going out and making a tub and stomping on them yourself, I mean, it's about as close as you can get in a board game.
Right.
The way they have you do that, and it's just, it works, and it was a smooth design.
Yeah, so, and your player board helps kind of envision that, because you have the vines and you have the little clear glass things for your grapes, and then it's a flow on your board where I think it would be if it was more abstracted in terms of. You go here to this spot and you make grapes. Yeah. And you get some grape components. And then you go to another spot and you make wine and you turn in your components and you get wine components. Yeah. I don't think it would feel... that player board really kind of brings that to life a little bit. Yep. More so than just collecting cubes and turning in cubes would. So, good one. Not the best one.
There's some good years, man. I'm telling you.
So everybody's saying that we peaked in 2013 apparently.
2012 and 2013, yeah.
We peaked.
Yeah.
All right, 2014. There's still some great games.
Oh, there's some amazing games.
2014. This is my first choice. Not her first choice, but my first choice. Talked about Sandbox. Now we're in space.
Sandbox in space.
Zaya Legends of a Drift System.
Such another good one. So good.
So this one, I love Merchants Marauders. I still love it, but this one's like in space. We're space pirates and we're space merchants. What? And it blew my mind. It comes with with pre-painted miniatures. You can do anything you want to do. You can go explore. You can be a merchant. You can be a pirate. You can do all sorts of things.
Right.
Kind of stay quiet because once we get on, we'll be back on.
Okay. I think we're back.
Are we?
Maybe we're back. Maybe.
Oh, that'd be so good because
Maybe.
Of course.
Maybe.
Are we on? Let me turn off my notifications.
Maybe.
Oh my gosh, we're back. Hallelujah. Okay, sorry. That was a scary thing. Like our computer, internet, everything just went kaput. So, all right. Sorry, guys. Thanks for hanging in there. I saw what you posted, Zachy. Already replacing
the
us.
Zachy
5 minutes. Yeah, Zachy's going to have a chasing his
Sorry,
cats.
it completely shut off for some reason. It completely just turned off. Just shut off. Don't know why. Completely shut off.
his phone kept looping saying, "You can be, you
What?
can be a pirate. You can do all sorts of things." It kept saying it over and over. Oh man!
All right, so I don't know where we were about. At some point, I think I was talking about Zaya. Sandbox space game, love it. It's Merchant Marauders in space. Amazing game. I like the ships. You have like your Tetrising your different components into the ship, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
You upgrade your ships to larger, cooler ships, and you carry over. What's cool is you carry over your special power. Each ship has a special power, and as you upgrade, you keep the special powers. The expansion fixes a lot of some people had issues with the fact that when you move, you roll a die, and you can roll a 1, and then roll another one, and then roll another one.
Yep.
There's things to mitigate that in the expansion. There's potential to have two planets right next to each other that you could trade back and forth to really quickly. The expansion fixes that problem, or you can just, when you set up the game, I don't know how you would set it up because it's all random, but that fixes that problem because there's an economy. Because you sell a bunch of one good, you have to sell some other goods to get that good to come back into the economy again. So it's got a kind of a neat economic system. But anyway,
I know I was gonna say too. This was this the first game we got that had like pre-painted minis too, wasn't it?
Probably.
We were like, wow, look at the ships. They're amazing because I don't think we'd ever had anything like that because we got this.
Yeah, it was
right
crazy.
when it came out,
it was a great. It was a Kickstarter.
Yeah,
they went over the top for the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Anyway, hopefully you know enough about Zaya. You probably got it twice. For those watching after the fact, you probably got 2.
You can be a pirate. You can do all sorts of things. You can be a pirate. No, I shouldn't do that to Hector. My pick for 2014. This was another year where I had several that I really enjoyed, but by a small margin. I chose the Castles of Mad King Ludwig. Especially because it's still one of those games that I have that if we play it, I instantly want to play it again. And I want to play it again after that. I like to play multiple plays of this game, which probably would drive people crazy because it's a little long to do that over and over. But
what? What's going on? Hold on. What's going on?
What? He's just saying that because I repeated that thing he was stuck on.
Oh.
So, oh, reset it, Nick, and it'll be synchronized. That's on your side.
Yeah, refresh.
Yeah, just do refresh if it's doing that. Oh, thanks, Ryan. So, yes. So, Castles of Mad King Ludwig. I love this game because you've got this crazy King Ludwig, and he wants you to build him a castle, and you get to put in all these funky shaped rooms that are different shapes and sizes, and you get to pick them, and you kind of do this bidding auction thing sort of for the different rooms. And you get combo bonuses and you get detriments depending on how you put the rooms next to each other. And you can add hallways and you can add an downstairs level and you can have gardens and you can do all these cool stuff. And every time you play the game, it's a unique game. You've got unique objectives. Your castle's going to look completely different. Oh, I love this game. I don't know why. I just think it's so cool. And it's just fun. We always chat about, fighting over who gets to build the dungeon or whatever in the basement. And it's so much fun. I love playing this game over and over because it's just
Nick's not synchronized and he's leaving it that way. He thinks it's interesting.
Nice. Are you over in Europe too? No, wait, Nick's in Texas. I was like, is this the middle of the night for him?
So
crazy.
So this game, when we first got it, we played it and 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 played it, and then I was sort of done with it.
Hunter's burnt out on it. I am not.
I was sort of done with it. So this game's slowly creeping down my top games list. Sorry. This may be one of our for a game that takes over an hour. This may be one of our most played games.
Yeah, probably. I have no problems with this. I don't.
All right. So let me take off the list here. Hopefully we're going to be okay. That was weird. The internet just shut off.
That was instant.
It just shut off. All right. 2013. No. 2014. My second choice was Deception.
Yeah.
Followed closely by Orleans.
Yep. And I also had on mine Roll for the Galaxy. So, man, some good games, guys.
So the number 1 game from 2014 is Orleans. Number 2, Star Wars Imperial Assault. Yep. One of the few games on this
that we haven't played. That's true.
And number 3 is Fields of Arl, which is a heavy 2-player only, with the expansion. It's 3-player now.
I'm impressed that made that
2-player only Uwe Rosenberg game. One of his heavier games.
And the funny thing is that being a top game like that, a 2-player only, I was shocked by that. And it just did so well. And it had, I don't know, that's a good game. I like that game. I'm just shocked it got that high of a number, so.
All right.
We don't have Comcast, we have Suddenlink.
Suddenlink, we hate you so much.
Yeah.
2015, whoa.
2015, let me just say, 2015 was a really good year for games
really good year.
all the way around. We actually talked for quite a while about the games because there were just so many really good ones.
But the best one,
obviously, we have very different opinions on what
the best
ones were
one
on this particular
is Champions of Midgard. Champions of
No, it's a
Midgard.
good game. It's a good game. It's a good
Champions of
game.
Midgard.
Exactly, and Blood Rage. Yeah, Paul's already like, Blood Rage. Everybody's Blood Rage.
Champions of Midgard. Slightly better than Blood Rage.
Yeah.
Maybe more than slightly for me.
Yeah.
Champions of Midgard. It is a worker placement game. Viking theme. Combat. You actually send your little... You basically get these dice. These
Send
dice
them
are
to
your
your
little
death.
troops. And you go out and fight with them. You fight with the dice. And you roll them and fight. And there's different dice. There's sword guys and spear guys and axe dudes. And they do different things. They have different faces that do different things. It's got hidden objectives. It's got all sorts of coolness. It has 2 expansions that are amazing. Almost, I would say, must-have expansions. They make the game much, much better. For me, it made it, somewhat better. For her, it made it playable.
Yeah, because I don't like the base game. I can't say that. It's not that I don't like it. I did not enjoy it as much because I just die and roll terribly. And it was kind of to the point of being comical.
I love
But
Champions
now
of
you can do
Midgard.
something
One
because
of
you're
my
like, oh, I get
favorite
victory points for
games
dead ones.
ever.
So that worked well for me.
So someone made a point. You could put Viticulture on your list again for this year if you really wanted to.
Oh, yeah, with the Tuscany stuff?
No, Essentials.
Or Essentials? I know. Game in the system, baby.
So number one's Viticulture
I'll behave.
Essentials.
That's pretty sweet. You know what's funny? You guys are just talking about banning Hunter because he didn't pick Blood Rage. That year,
am I getting banned?
Blood Rage was his number one that particular year.
Yes.
He was on the Blood Rage Facebook group where all they did is make memes about Blood Rage. You were Blood Rage. I'm surprised we don't have Blood Rage posters on the wall.
I got overloaded on Blood Rage.
You did. You burnt yourself out on it because you were like, Blood Rage everything! It was hilarious. It was... I found it amusing.
I think Champions is... I don't know...
This is us looking back, obviously, on the decade. But at that particular year, you definitely would have picked Blood Rage.
But I don't know if I had Champions right off the bat, either. Blood Rage I got, immediately.
Well, and Champions you enjoyed, but it...
It's sad.
Yeah, Ryan blamed Kabuki, said, hey, I think you broke the
Hey,
internet,
we're back.
Kabuki." Oh, please let it be back.
Oh my gosh, this is crazy. What were you saying about 2015?
It was a really good year, and the
This
game
is
that I picked
crazy.
by a small margin, again, because it was really hard to choose, was Pandemic Legacy Season 1. Because it was for us, like a game changer. It took us a while to jump on the whole Legacy bandwagon. I still haven't played Risk Legacy. I mean, you haven't either, right? I want to eventually because that seems to be the one that really started it all. I'm intrigued, just for because
maybe.
the Pandemic Legacy really made that a crazy thing. They kicked it up a notch. Now everyone's like, wow, this is a viable thing that we can do, and there's all these different ways we can do this. And it had plot twists, and I can't say too much because there's still people that probably haven't played it, and I don't want to ruin it for you.
That's
because it's so
2015.
good.
That's 5 years. Isn't there a
Just
statute
saying.
of limitations on
There will
spoiling
be.
things?
Next year, it's over, guys. But it was just really amazing because
Our first Legacy experience.
it was our first Legacy experience. It was a lot of firsts for everybody, and
Right.
just the buzz about it and the idea, the concept, and what I ended up doing. And again, I'd love to show you, but it would probably be massive spoilers on some levels.
Yeah, we have our
I took
board
our
up on-
board and I took a bunch of pieces and stuff and made it like a visual and hung it on the wall. So it's got some of our cards and some of our characters, and you can see the cities. And I put some of the some of the stuff we tore, some of the stuff we didn't. There's all sorts of stuff all over it. It's pretty cool looking. I think I did a pretty good job on it, and you can see what our map ended up looking like. But since we're never going to play it again, we now have it up on our wall. So, I mean, it had that lasting effect. So when we saw Pandemic Season 2 coming out, we're like, oh, that was almost an insta-buy kind of situation, because we're like, this is amazing.
And it was amazing, too. Not quite as good, but amazing.
I think because the whole shock of the newness of it, right? We kind of knew what to expect to a point going into Season 2. Right. But the first one, you don't. And it's pretty amazing. So if you haven't tried it, and it is, Nick, the nice thing is it's episodic, so you go month by month. I will tell you that much, so that you could play one game of Pandemic, and then you log basically where you're at, and you just pick up where you left off when you do it. We ended up, we were like, oh yeah, we'll pace ourselves, and then we ended up going, oh, let's just binge this all weekend long. Yeah. We ended up spending like 3 days straight just playing Pandemic Legacy, and got through it.
We played all but like maybe the first one in basically 48 hours.
Yeah, it was pretty insane. You don't have to do that, though. That's the nice part, is you really can stop, pack it up, and be like, hey, let's play once a week or something, and you can do it. And it's kind of fun to think about all the different things, and it was a weird feeling tearing that first card. I asked, how many times did I ask you? I'm like, are you sure? You're sure this is the one we tear up? Because once we do this, there's no going back. So yeah, it was pretty interesting. But there you go.
All right, 2015 top 3. Number 1, Pandemic Legacy Season 1.
Oh, you'd hate to try the Legacy. Oh.
Number 2, Through the Ages, a new story of civilization.
Mm-hmm.
And then 7 Wonders Duel.
Yeah. Yep.
2015. So I guess that's a crossover for you.
Yep, it is. Oh, that was a good year. All
right, 2016. Let's keep it going. Hope, cross your fingers, the internet cooperates. 2016 for me is Scythe. Scythe.
Another good one.
Scythe.
Such a good
Love this game. One of my all-time favorites. Of course, it's interesting. I'll talk about this at the end, but it's interesting how many of my how spread out my top 10 of all time is.
That is interesting.
Because most of my top 10 is actually on this list.
That's true.
So
that is kind of interesting.
So Scythe is my number 1 game.
Some good ones.
Best game from 2016. It is, I wouldn't call it worker placement. It reminds me a lot, for me personally, this is my personal opinion, it reminds me a lot of the real-time strategy games from the computer, like StarCraft and World of Warcraft and things like that, because you kind of start out in your one little location, then you go out and you start sending out little guys, and they start farming stuff for you, and you're spreading out. Eventually you encounter the enemy, and you start fighting. It reminds me a lot of a real-time strategy game. I know that's not what the point is, but that's kind of how it feels for me. Mm-hmm. It has some lots of cool things I like. It has exploration. You go out and your little leader guy, your main dude, can go out and explore the board, and he gets encounters, and he can decide, does he want to do a good thing, a bad thing, or kind of something in the middle, and he gets benefits based on that. If he does a good thing, he gets a lesser reward. But if you do a bad thing, you get a bigger reward, but then you get a reputation.
You lose reputation.
You get a reputation hit. So it's kind of how you want to play. It's kind of a race to complete a certain number of objectives. I like that in games.
Yeah.
It has, your player board has where your actions are, where you select your actions. You can upgrade those and make them more efficient, which is really cool as well. So it's just got a lot. It just kind of checks a lot of boxes I like in games. I wouldn't really call this a worker placement game, but it kind of, in a way, feels a little bit like that, because you send your little dude out, and then you activate that spot to do resources. So it's just, I like this game. It's a great game.
I like this game.
We enjoy it 2 players. I know a lot of people don't like it 2 players, but we enjoy it 2 players because we have actually a decision. We can make it more aggressive and pick locations right next to each other. Or if we want a more kind of a Euro-y experience, we take opposite ends of the board and we hardly run into each other.
It's fun, and I like the fact that, I mean, how many games can you do that with? Honestly, there's not very many games you can do that with, and I think that's why it is so amazing. This is a year that there were a lot of good games. This was hard for me.
You're about to do yours, huh?
Yes. Because there was Vinos and Terraforming Mars, Scythe, but by a hair, I did end up with Star Trek Ascendancy. Of course, I know you're all shocked I picked a Star Trek game. I know, it's crazy. But this, again, took the Star Trek universe, and may or may not know, the few Star Trek games that they come out with sometimes, they're either absolutely amazing or they're just abysmal. And there had been quite a few stinkers that had gone through. And we were kind of just like, hesitant when you see a Star Trek game come out. It's like, okay, what'd they do this time?
Right.
But this one is amazing.
We got to try
it.
We got to try it out. That's the only reason we got it. So we tried it out at a con.
That's true. And then we were like, mind blown.
Yeah.
The warp system in this is what I think clinched it for me, first off. And then the Ascendancy thing, it makes it very... Your victory points is the Ascendancy. That's a cool idea, and I like the way they did that because it's asymmetrical. I mean, your Klingons, you're going to just build up and go out and just start attacking people. The Federation is going out very thematically. They're exploring strange new worlds, new life, and civilizations. I mean, that's how they get their Ascendancy really well. And everybody's got their own little niche. And then, oh my gosh, just the warping. I love the way your galaxy forms as you're exploring it because you're figuring out warp paths to different places and... with planets move around until you get everything clinched into place. And I just, good times. Cute little minis.
Yep.
Role player. Man, yeah, see, there were so many good games that year. So many good games.
So what were the best games that year? According to Board Game Geek, the best games for 2016 are Terraforming Mars.
Oh,
number 1.
Love that game.
Number 2 is Star Wars Rebellion.
Another good game.
And number 3 is Great Western Trail.
Oh my gosh. I'm kind of, yeah, I'm almost shocked you didn't pick that one.
Well, I had here's my choices. I actually had 5 choices.
I figured you did, 'cause
Scythe,
this was your
Ascendancy, Oracle Delphi,
Yeah,
Vinhos Deluxe, or the second edition Vinhos,
Yeah.
and Great Western Trail were on my short list.
That was like your year.
Yeah,
right
that
there.
was like 2016 may be the best year for me.
Yeah, I could see that.
So there you go.
That's crazy.
This is all itchy.
Yeah, you guys are talking about role player and stuff, and it's good. Yes, Kabuki Picard is free for a while. Yes, if you guys want to watch that, CBS is doing some deal right now. I thought that was cool.
That is cool. It's a great series. We're loving it.
Yeah,
We're
I'm loving that
excited for
series.
the season finale Thursday.
Woo woo.
Or Wednesday. Thursday.
Thursday. Ooh.
Thursday.
Role player. You know, I liked the expansion.
Oh, I gotta go.
For role player, Hunter was kind of. Actually, he liked the expansion better than I did because he felt like it gave your role player game some purpose. I enjoy the puzzly aspect of it for something different. But it's not a game where I would go and say, I want to play this over and over and over or anything like that. But I love it, and I like the expansion where you actually kind of do stuff with your character. I think it's kind of fun. They were talking about role player.
Oh, the monster minions and monsters?
Monsters and Minions. I think you're right. Something like that, yeah. Whamming speed.
All right, 2017. Another great year.
Oh, man.
But the greatest of the great for that year is Twilight Imperium 4th edition. My second favorite game of all time.
That's a beautiful thing.
Love TI4. It is epic. Just like my number 1 game is epic Lord of the Rings, Twilight Imperium is an epic space opera. Crazy good stuff. So many things I like about this game. I like the slow build up. I like the negotiation. I like the attacky. I like doing the laws. That's probably one of my favorite things is arguing about the laws. A lot of people don't like it. Most people don't like it, but I love the laws.
Who cares? Hunter's like, but really, it's so important. I'm like, is it though? I think you just
a lot of times I would go, oh, okay, we'll pass it. I'm like, wait a second. I have lots of votes here. I don't agree with this.
It's like, you are such a troll.
I like the race to get victory points. It's a race to get a certain number of points. I like that. I like the fact that it's asymmetrical. Every race plays the game a little bit differently than the others. This game, I mean, you really... I mean, it's an intimidating learn, it's an intimidating teach.
Yes.
It is a long game.
Yes.
But it is an amazing experience. It is, you make a game of it, a game day of it, spend all day playing this, order some pizza and hang out and
order some more pizza.
There's a real good video teach. I think it's like 30 minutes ish long.
Oh, really?
That's on the internet that I recommend. You'll find it. Just go to YouTube and look up Twilight Imperium 4, learning Twilight Imperium 4. That's a great video. It's just a really amazing game. It seems like each time we play it, the teach gets a little bit quicker.
It does, because...
It's almost like you remind you about a few little things, and we can get back into it.
Because it's pretty intuitive how it is set up. It's just there's a lot of it. They streamlined this last version quite a bit, so it does make it easier to jump into, and I thought that was kind of amazing, actually.
Yep.
Because that's saying something. Man, you guys in the chat are picking so many. There's just good game. Just talk about these big games. This was another big year, right?
Yep.
I really liked it. This was a tough one for me to pick stuff, too, because of a lot of the games that you guys are mentioning in the chat. But, as you know, my number two is this year, and that is Gaia Project. And so it wasn't very hard for me to settle in on that one. Oh my gosh, I love this game. It is a heavy space Euro. Okay. It's like perfect. Mwah, again, yes.
Yeah, it's your Euro to my attacky, basically.
Yeah, and I just adore this game. I love the puzzle with the tech tree and deciding which tech trees I want to, like, master, and going through and exploring your little planets and trying to make your own federations, and just the player board and how you are going to build that engine. I absolutely love Gaia Project. Yeah, it's not the prettiest necessarily, but it's fun to play.
Yeah, I like this one.
Oh, I love
Gaia Project's really good. It's funny because I think the first time we played it, I probably liked it more than you did.
Mm-hmm.
You played it several times since then, and you're like, each time you're like, I like this game.
Yeah, but the more I
it's
play,
just
the
moving
more
up
I
and
like
up
it.
and up and up your list.
The more I play, I've played it now 2-player. I've played it multiplayer. I've played it 2-player. Played it multiplayer. I mean, like it. I've bounced back and forth it now a couple times, and every time it's just like, wow, it scales well. Wow, this is
a
cool.
good one. It's
all
a good one.
the stuff. See, and you guys are picking all these really good games. I love it.
So my alternate choices for 2017
Clans.
were Anachrony and Dinosaur Island.
Yeah, see, there's another good game. Dang.
Top 3 for 2017. Number 1 game and the number 1 game of all time, according to Board Game Geek. Gloomhaven.
Yeah.
Number 2 is TI4, which is what I
Nice,
picked.
you have a crossover.
And number 3 is Gaia Project.
Boom, baby! Woo! And you like Gloomhaven, so I mean that's a kind of a win for us all the way around.
That's
because
a good year.
Yeah, good times.
All right,
Good
let's move on to
times.
2018.
Nemo's War. I haven't played that. I've heard that's really good from a lot of people, though. That's pretty cool.
All right, 2018
Plans of
is for
Caledonia
me. For
Oh,
me,
oh yes.
is Western Legends.
You need help.
Western Legends. We're back to sandbox games. So 3 of my picks, Merchants and Marauders, Zaya, and now Western Legends are all sandbox games.
Heroes of Land.
You got pirates, and you got space, and now you got cowboys.
Yeah.
Western.
That's right.
The Old West. So any game where you can rob somebody,
I like how you
go
brought
to
it to me.
town, play some poker, stroll over and rob the bank, and then go to the cabaret. What more do you want in a board game? This game is just awesome. I mean, I love sandbox games. I love games where you can do what you want, and I like poker. It's one of my favorite games. Love the poker. I love the robbing the bank. I love the going out and exploring. If you get the expansion, you actually have an exploration aspect to the game. You can ride a train with the expansion. You can rob the train. There's another gambling game that you can play with the expansion. This game's so good. I love this game. We actually enjoy it 2 players. Because they have like just an automated kind of NPC guy that kind of messes with you, which is funny.
It's pretty funny,
I think it's
actually.
hilarious.
Oh man.
It's just a really solid game. It's probably 3 or 4 people is probably the sweet spot for the game.
It's fantastic at that.
5 gets to be a little bit long. Oh, I just love this game. It's so cool. It's got multi-use cards. So you have the cards that you play are actually like a deck of cards. So you have 2 through ace, 4 different suits and jokers. And those are your cards, and you can use them for many different things. You use them when you play poker. You can use them when you take actions. You can use them as reactionary cards to what other players are doing. It's just a great game. You have all these different items you can buy. You can buy horses and guns and different special items give you different special abilities. You can upgrade your guns. You upgrade your horses.
And what's great is when you upgrade them, they get names.
Yeah.
That's what cracked me up, too, because I turn around and I'm like, oh, it's Bessie. I'm like, okay.
This game is so good. So good.
It's good.
There you go.
Good times.
Western Legends.
Yeehaw.
No, it's not yeehaw. It's
Yeah. All right, so you guys are talking about some
You're not from the
good
South.
stuff in. Come from the cowboy state. Don't even. So it cracks me up that
quacks. Oh,
quacks.
Quacks.
Quacks me up. It quacks me up. No, I just love that you guys have just solid games because it seems like from especially 2015 on, it's just like an explosion
Yeah.
of just massively amazing games. It just keeps getting better and better, and I love that. My pick for this year was another tough pick, but it was Crown of Emara. And I think what did it for me was the fact that, okay, so you have a worker placement Euro game again. Okay, what's so cool about that? Well, this time, folks, we have 2 boards, and you can only move on one of them at a time and do stuff. And on one side, you've got all of your get your resources, gather up things, bake your bread, and then the other one, you've got manipulate all that nonsense and get victory points. Oh, I love that. And it's crazy. We just played it again last night, actually, and it blew my mind. When yours too, we were like, wow, this goes so quickly. It ramps up fast. The first turn, you're like, yay, I've got like 2 resources. Okay.
Right.
How are we going to get this done in time? And then at the end, you're like, I'm going to do 40 things on my turn, so you might as well sit back for a second. And it just, oh man, it ramps up fast. You get to do so many cool things. And we always race as fast as we can to get those dang crowns on our little person, first because, well, it's bragging rights and your victory points creep ahead and it just looks really good. But it's so good.
If you're looking for a midweight Euro, I know this one's kind of hard to find, but this game is amazing. It is amazing. Yep. We died.
We died again?
Yes.
Ugh. Oh, they're all talking about going to play games with Dean in Hawaii. Well, it didn't crash yet. Are you guys spinning? Oh, Zachy said no, not again.
We're back, maybe?
Well, it says they may be experiencing buffering.
We're almost...
No, we're so close to the end.
Now we're back.
Okay.
I think we're back. Man, I don't know what's going on with Sudden Link.
I don't know. We had the girls get off the internet, too, thinking maybe we were overloading, but that's definitely not the case.
All right, I think we're back.
Okay.
Crown of Emara, it's amazing. You should play it.
Yeah. Hope you caught all that. So many good games that year, though. Like you said, it's
Right.
hard to choose. So hard to choose.
All right, 2018. We're gonna zip through the last part.
Yeah, I'm scared now.
We're gonna
hurry, guys.
All right, so 2018. My alternate pick was Rising Sun, and that was mentioned in the chat as well.
Oh.
Number 1 game for 2018, Brass Birmingham.
Good.
So a
was good.
retheming, redoing of the original Brass, but it's they added some stuff, and it's kind of like a slightly more complicated version, maybe.
Okay.
Number 2 is Root. Number 3 is Nemesis.
Wow.
Nemesis. I haven't played Nemesis.
Me
All right.
neither.
2019, let's get her done. Let's wrap this puppy up.
All
Because
right.
the internets are not happy. My number 1 game for 2019 is City of the Big Shoulders. This game, yeah, it's amazing. I love this game.
Yeah, you were like crazy in
This
love with this
game
game.
was designed for me. So basically, I enjoy 18xx games. I love heavy Euro games. Boom, you put them together. They have a child. City of the Big Shoulders. So it takes 18xx. My favorite thing about 18xx is controlling the companies and the stock market, but I don't like the trains and the tracks as much. They took those out, threw those in the garbage, and threw in a heavy worker placement game along with that. This game was made for me.
It's true. It's true. And it's a good game. I like it, but Hunter loves
this game.
it.
I love this game.
It's crazy.
This will be poking at my top 10 of all time, I think, next year.
That's impressive. That's impressive. Well, and I find it interesting that we've had so many really good games already, and as you guys know, we're not like super on top of the games that came out, so we're still trying to find and play 2019 games and stuff like that. So this is
We played a lot, but
exciting
there's more.
Yeah, we played a lot now. We're getting there, but
All right,
still pretty amazing.
What you got?
This one was probably No, not probably. This is my favorite Legacy game ever, and it's Clank Legacy. Wow. This game took all of the cool newness and freshness that we had with Pandemic Season 1 and then said, let's add a really funny sense of humor, some great dramatic moving plot with goofy twists, and put it on top of, again, another good solid game. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, the humor in this is just
the humor
hilarious.
is fantastic.
This is one of the few games I actually laughed at.
Yes.
Stuff that happened.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, literally laughed.
Actually laughed out loud.
Sometimes you'll
not
just chuckle.
We didn't just type LOL. We actually LOL. Okay. So, no, it was, oh man. Every time we went to, we could not binge this, so that was unfortunate because we were kind of...
Yeah, we spread this one out over a couple of months.
Yeah, we had to spread this one out. But when we get back into it, we're like, oh man, I can't wait. Every time. I mean, it was just, what's going to happen this time?
This game is
I'm so glad
awesome.
you're in this.
This game is so good. If you like Clank,
you will
have
love
to
this.
play this game.
You really do.
Have to play this game.
You do, because you already have they've given you a tiny taste of their sense of humor, but you have no... They just explode with it in Legacy.
Right.
It's fantastic.
It's great. The game is just amazing. It's my second choice.
Yeah.
The only reason maybe it's lower is because even though it's playable now, I don't know how much we'd actually play it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Reminds me of Charterstone. I think it's just going to sit on the shelf.
It might. It might. Yeah. That's kind of unfortunate, but the journey made it worthwhile.
Oh, gosh.
Easily.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Easily.
Yeah. This game
and the fact that you
amazing.
can go back and play it is cool, because I don't feel like... I mean, I know you can with Pandemic, but I'm like...
Yep.
No.
So that's
But yeah.
That's cool.
And you guys are talking about Res Arcana and Wingspan too, and I'm just like, and I haven't played Journeys in Middle Earth yet, and I want to.
That and Seventh Continent may be games I might buy and just put on a shelf.
Yes, thank you, and we'll store it until we retire.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna have a link to the party.
Then there won't be an app. It will be so.
It'll be so old. There's no supporting the app.
There's no app anymore for it. Anyway.
That'd be so
The
sad.
number top 3 right now, and this one's shifting somewhat.
Is it?
So this is as of a couple of days ago, as of recording this, because it may change.
Wow.
Number 1 game is Wingspan. Number 2 is Marvel Champions.
Oh, people are loving that game.
Number 3 is Lord of the Rings Journeys in Middle Earth.
Man, and see, we haven't played 2 and 3 yet, and I feel like...
I think you'd like Marvel Champions. I don't know if it's my kind of game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm willing to take that risk.
Alright, so I was going to mention it. It's funny because...
So many good games.
Originally, we decided to do it year by year instead of doing just our top 10 favorite from the decade.
Yeah.
So, my number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 10 game
Wow!
all made the list.
That's impressive.
I only had a couple. 2019. There's no game in my top 10 from that year, and then there's no game from 2010 in my top 10, and there's a couple of repeats as well. So
that's interesting.
8 of my top 10 games made the list.
That's pretty cool. So my update, because I saw it briefly in the chat, and I won't go into details because I'm sure we'll chat about when we talk about games played and things like that. But yes, I have played Leaving Earth.
Yeah, she
did. And it was quite glorious.
I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to spoil it. So next Tuesday, that's a good segue.
Teaser!
Good segue. Next Tuesday, we're going to do our normal variety show. Hopefully the internets will cooperate. Kabuki Kid made a very good point. The whole world is on the internet right now.
Yeah, no.
That's why it's probably overloaded, and they're probably having to throttle it down to people, and so
it's probably getting crazy.
So this may be the new normal for a while with us at least. So at least we get back on fairly quickly when we crash.
No, I mean, we'll
but
send less
next
hate
week
mail this week
is our variety show. We're going to talk about all the games that we've played since we last talked about all the games we played. I think we've got a good chunk of games.
Do we?
I mean, let me take a...
I'm trying to remember when we last chatted, because we've kind of been sporadic, because with everything that happened for a little while, we were like, oh, like everybody else was, and then like, oh, let's start playing the games. Oh, I heard 8. I heard him say 8 already. That's more than I thought.
Yeah, there's probably 10-ish games we're probably going to talk about next time.
Okay, and we'll probably play some between now and then as well.
Yeah, we got a whole nother week to play games, and we've been playing games more often recently.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed the list.
Yeah, it was fun.
Oh, I love the comments in the chat.
The chat's been great. It's been really interesting to talk about this particular topic because it was like reminiscing about all these really good games and all the...
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a walk down memory lane. What's interesting is we got probably heavy into the hobby around 2013 and 14, somewhere in there, right? Heavy?
2012 is when you started dice towering a lot and started buying stuff.
That's true. So I think our list, if we were to go further back, our list would be much weaker.
Oh yeah.
Than it is.
But also, I find it interesting that we kind of followed the trend at the time as things. We kind of were part of the group of people that are starting to ramp this up too.
Yeah.
The game design, the people getting into the hobby, everything just started ramping up during this decade. I mean, it's just amazing.
Yeah, I mean I think we're truly spoiled.
Oh yeah,
with the amount of amazing games that come out anymore. I mean, you go back even 10, 15 years. It's if you look at the list of Board Game Geek, there's only a smattering of games that are, and obviously over time they're going to become less popular, but
still just the amount of just sheer games you're like, wow, that's a solid game. You can't, even if you don't like it as much anymore, you know it's a solid game.
Yeah.
And the number of really well-designed, crazy good games, it seems like, were much smaller.
Right.
15 years ago.
And if you kind of like one category of games, back then I would think there would be only a handful of games of the category you like come out each year, where now you have to actually go, which ones do I want to play of the category of games
it's not like you... it'd be nice to have the infinite budget, just be like, I would like to have all the top games of 2019, please.
Alright, so next Tuesday, we're going to do all the games we played since last we've talked.
Yeah.
Which is actually, at that time, is going to be 3 weeks.
Wow.
It's going to be the top two things in a row. We did Coin and then this. So
cool. Okay.
It's been a while. All right, get us out of here before the internet drops again.
It's been wonderful hanging out with you again. We will chat with you again at the least next week. Maybe before then. We'll see. We love you. Bye.